All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both locations from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle. It's all amazing, but get the brisket chili. Tell them that Larry Kruger sent you. Go say hi to Damon and Mary and get some brisket in you at Pig and a Pickle. All right. And this video is also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, KRUEG, and they will match you up to your first $100. Well, tomorrow in Santa Clara, the Niners will hit the field for OTAs. I'll be on hand for that. Brock Purdy's expected to be on hand for minicamp. But there's going to be a bunch of guys who aren't going to be playing. Dre Greenlaw with the Achilles will sit it out. Talanoa Fonga, who's still rehabbing the ACL, he likely will not play. Mooney Ward's got a core muscle issue. So does George Kittle. They're both unlikely to practice. So they will not be there. I would imagine Brandon Ayuk is not going to be there as well. He may make an appearance, but I doubt it. He probably won't be at the facility for the voluntary sessions. He'll probably be there in training camp, but if you just go off of like the way Debo's holdout went a couple of years ago, he did not show up to the voluntary sessions, and I don't expect Ayuk to either. Now, what does that mean for the Niners? Well, there may not be any Ayuk, maybe no Debo, and maybe no Jennings. So that means that with the Niners, top 3 receivers not there, sure opens up the competition for the young guys, and there's going to be a damn good competition this summer. Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell, Tay Martin, Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, Tariq Owens, then mix in Chris Conley as well, Trent Taylor. And there's going to be a real good competition at wide receiver. I would say that maybe the Niners keep 6 wide receivers. So you think of the 3 that they have right now, JJ, Ayuk, and Debo, and then Cowing and Pearsall, there's 5. So that means that everybody else is battling for 1 spot. So it's going to be fierce. Unless the Niners trade Debo or Ayuk or Jennings, man, they have so many wide receivers. They're going to wind up cutting some good players this summer. One of the things I'm looking for is, what does Brock Purdy look like? Brock Purdy's gotten stronger. He's been working out. He's been throwing the ball with some of his receivers. I want to see if the Purdy to Pearsall connection looks smooth, like they've actually repped it out on the field. And also I want to see if Purdy's arm strength is a little bit better, if he's a little bit more sudden, a little quicker, a little bit more explosive, a little stronger. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Does he have added zip on the football? And then I want to see Ricky Pearsall. I mean, there's a lot of good corners in this Niner camp. I want to see, can Ricky Pearsall, beat them at the line of scrimmage, escape the jam, get into his route, and can he create separation? Can he keep that separation? Or do they start to eat up that cushion and and show that he lacks that extra gear that many of the top receivers in the league have? So that's what I'll be looking for Pearsall. I know he's veteran in a lot of ways. I want to see, does he have that extra gear? Can he maintain separation throughout the entirety of the route? We're not going to know if he can take a hit until the games actually start, but this is a big one. Can he gain separation? Can he get off the line of scrimmage consistently against the best Niner corners? And they got a deep group. And then once he gets into the meat and potatoes of his route, can he maintain that separation? That's what I'm looking for. If Debo shows up, I'd like to see what he looks like. I think the Niners would love to see the Debo that they had in 2021 when he came in and had was in great shape. If he's out there on the field, if he's in great shape, that will be a good sign. I'm really eager to see the rookie offensive linemen. The Niners added 4 rookie offensive linemen, 2 in the draft, Dominic Pooney and Jarrett Kingston, and then 2 after the draft, and Drake Nugent and Bryson Mays. And all 4 of those guys had very good 20-yard short shuttle times in the pre-draft process. So they all have athleticism. Nugent was really good at Michigan this last year. He was all Big Ten first team at center. Pooney is, I think, a talented enough athlete where he might be able to be plug and play at right guard. Kingston's strong and athletic. Is he ready to challenge Jake Brendel for the starting center job? So I'm really eager to see, are the Niner offensive linemen, the 4 guys that they got this offseason, 5 if you want to call Chris Hubbard, the veteran, another addition. But do any of those guys slide in front of Feliciano or Burford or Brendel? Are all these guys slated to be backups, or are any of them, running with the ones? I'm very interested to see of these young offensive linemen who runs with the ones. Does anybody? Do they run with the twos, or is it with the threes? And then at what spots are they lined up at? So I'll be taking note of that tomorrow. I want to see the Niner D line. In 2022, they managed only 4 combined sacks from the defensive tackle position, and then they added Hargrave this last year. But man, they took a huge step back in run defense. And so now you've got, Malik Collins, and you've got Jordan Elliott stepping in for Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw. You've added Yatir Gross-Matos. How good is the Niner defensive line compared to the one that we saw on Super Bowl Sunday against the run and the pass? Um, is it Devondre Campbell in for Greenlaw and there's no debate, or is it possible that Jalen Graham or D. Winters could take that job? Is that a competition, or is that a done deal? Sounded like, from talking to Sorensen, like, Devondre Campbell opposite Fred Warner is a done deal. I'm going to be very interested to see who's lining up at nickel corner, who's lining up at free safety. I think that's a big question going into this thing. Nickel corner, who's the starter? Is it Lenore? Is it Sam Womack? Who exactly is the starter at the nickel corner? And then who's the starter at free safety? Is Renardo Green going to get a look at nickel? Is he going to get a look at starting free safety? Is it Malik Mustafa's job to lose? There's a lot of questions there. As far as the quarterbacks are concerned, I think Brandon Allen could potentially battle Dobbs for the number 2 job, but it also wouldn't shock me if Tanner Mordecai beat out Brandon Allen for the number 3 job. So I'll be looking at Tanner Mordecai. I'll be looking at the debate in the backfield between Cody Schrader, an undrafted rookie out of Missouri, compared to J.P. Mason and Elijah Mitchell. I really love Schrader and what he brings to the table, but he's going to have to steal somebody's job. What's Isaac Guerrero? Is he a receiver? Is he a running back? Is he a fullback? What's he looking like? I thought he looked great in the rookie minicamp. Who's tight end 2 behind George Kittle? Is it Cam Latu? Is it Mason Pline? Is it the veteran Eric Saubert? Is it Braden Willis? That one's going to be really interesting. And then, if are Ayuk and Debo going to show up? And if not, you've got, are the Niners going to keep 6 wide receivers? And if so, who's that 6 wide receiver? Is it Chris Conley? Is it Trent Taylor, Danny Gray? Is it Ronnie Bell? Is it Tay Martin? I mean, who is it? Tariq Owens? Who is the 6 wide receiver if the Niners keep 6? And of their young new linemen, Pooney, Kingston, Nugent, and then of course the veteran Chris Hubbard, are any of these guys ready to start, or are these guys solely there for backup duty? Is the Niner D line better than it was when we last saw them? Is it worse? We mentioned who starts at linebacker opposite Fred Warner. Is it Campbell? Is it Graham? Is it Winters? Is it Tatum Bethune? Is it Flanagan Fowles? Is Malik Mustafa the starter at free safety? If not him, is it Renardo Green? If it's not him, is it Jair Brown? I think that free safety spot's going to be really interesting. The backup corner spots are going to be hotly contested. Most teams keep 5. And the Niners have Mooney Ward, Demo Lenore, Renardo Green, Isaac Yadam, Sam Womack. That's 5 right there. But you also have Ambry Thomas, Darrell Luter, Chase Lucas, Rock Ya-Sin. So you got 9 corners there for probably 4 or 5 jobs, maybe 6. So you got 6 guys battling for a couple spots. And then at defensive tackle, it's like, it's going to be Hargrave and probably Collins, and then your 2s are probably Givens and Elliott. But who's your last defensive tackle? Is it Shaquille Brown out of Troy, who's so incredibly athletic? Is it Evan Anderson from Florida Atlantic, who the Niners guaranteed him $380,000 to sign as an undrafted college free agent? Is it Kalia Davis? Is it T.Y. McGill? Lots and lots of questions all throughout the roster for sure. So it's going to be an interesting minicamp. We'll be down there. We'll report back on all of it. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Lots of questions to be needed to be answered at 49er Minicamp. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.